To understand mission is to understand the difference between the one thing and everything, singular and plural, clarity and distraction. A difference that can be summed up in one word: more. When we think of business, the natural thing to do is to focus on more. More products, more customers, more revenue, more growth. And as growth-centric entrepreneurs, this idea of more makes it so hard to say no. Hard to say no to the targets that are easy to hit. Hard to say no to the strategy that will seem to win. Hard to say no to the direction and path that seems to be pretty clear. The problem is, between pretty clear and very clear is where the seeds of distraction are planted. And like an out-of-control weed, this debilitating influence begins to affect everything we do. Like yeast, it works its way through the whole batch of dough, through the whole organization. Our survival skills kick in. Our purpose becomes a generalization, and after a while, we no longer know what we're aiming for, and our mission becomes reduced to the statement on the wall. And what invariably happens over time is that our approach to the customer becomes a collection of random activities. Our purpose now reduced to delivering the bare minimum of our responsibility as businesses, fighting to merely give the customer at the bare minimum the good product and service in return for what they paid us for. And while all of these activities are good in isolation, executing on good will never be good enough. It'll never be a platform to build the meaningful customer connection you and they desire. A connection that inspires your team to execute on unique value propositions that are relevant. A bond that sustains a long-term, meaningful, and profitable customer alignment. In other words, customer loyalty. And when our customers leave us, the truth hurts, and it should. That truth being, our customers are not looking for good enough. What they are looking for is something more. Simon Sinek, who is the presenter of one of the most watched TED Talks of all time, wrote a book called Start With Why, in which he states that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And what you do simply proves what you believe about yourself and your customer. He goes on to say that every single organization on the planet knows what they do. Some of them know how they do it, but very few actually know why they do it. And each of us, you, me, and our customer, are looking for something that is bigger than ourselves, something that we can believe in. And you see this in your own life with the brands that you are willing to stand behind. They are clear, they are essential, and they matter. What do they stand for that inspires you to opt in, to buy in, to participate in that one thing that connects you to them? That one thing called mission. A brand that breeds loyalty with its customers is a brand that is conscious of the responsibility they bear towards those who encounter them. A brand that breeds loyalty is a brand who positions itself as one with unfinished relational work, not job work, relational work that is perceived and received as tangible or intangible benefits. And for you, as a dental lab entrepreneur who seeks such a relationship with your doctor, what is your why? What unfinished relational work inspires you to inspire them? And today on the podcast, we're going to dive into brand mission, but not the static statement all of us are accustomed to reading and forgetting, but one that actually carries an intent that is essential to the life of your company and your customer. A reason for being that carries focus and substance, one that will define you to your dentist as your lab's essential ingredient, an ingredient that bakes greater meaning into every tooth you make and is reinforced by everything you say and do. My name is Sasha, and this is Entrepreneur Insight. ability. The ability to matter to someone else is open to just about everyone. Anyone who is willing to live with intention, willing to take responsibility, willing to say no to more, willing to reject the things that compete with their why. Your mission is your one priority from which all assets, attributes, and resources converge. It is your pointed arrow of clarity, your straight shot communication and positioning, your disciplined, systematic approach for determining where your highest point of definition, contribution, and differentiation lies. All of which is predicated by the process of elimination, eliminating the non-essential things that compete for that priority. And regarding the word priority, there is no single word more misconstrued in life today than the word priority. The essence of this word, its meaning, has actually moved away from its root. It's gone from singular to plural. The word priority came into the English language only a few hundred years ago. And only in the last century did we pluralize it and start talking about priorities. Yet the word priority is derived from the Latin word prioritas, meaning first in rank, order, or dignity. In other words, you can only have one priority. And somehow, we fool ourselves into thinking that we can have more than a single mission at any given time. Having multiple missions gives us the false notion that we can do it all. We can't. And due to competing priorities, we will find ourselves focused away from our true reason for being, losing the density of our definition to ourselves and our customers. When we don't purposely and deliberately define our mission, singular, our employees, our customers, and even our competitors will actually define it for us. And before long, we'll have lost sight of the value creation that differentiates us from everybody else. And what you commonly see are statements that are so vague in general that they're straight up ignored, both internally and externally. Using buzzwords like leadership, innovation, and customer service don't mean anything. They're too conventional and lack the handles needed for adoption and execution. Now, I want to read a mission statement to you that is from a well-known brand, and I want to see if you can figure out who it is. Quote, "Our mission is to operate the best specialty retail business in America, regardless of the products we sell." Now, that mission statement could belong to anybody, really. But it actually belongs to your neighborhood bookstore, Barnes & Noble. Here's another one, and I bet you can't bet who this is. "It is our mission to continue to authoritatively provide access to diverse services to stay relevant in tomorrow's world." That, my friends, was created by an online mission statement generator. Now, be honest, you were not expecting that source. Now, let's just say that you own a dental lab, and maybe you have a mission statement that you've drafted, and it may sound something like this. "Our mission is to provide the highest degree of quality and service for our dentists for the well-being of their patients." Or maybe it sounds something like this. "We help our dentists thrive by providing aesthetic and perfect fitting restorations for their patients." Now, what becomes clear is that we are clearly communicating what we do and what the dentist should expect us to do by giving us their work. What is also clear is that we have not communicated a reason for being that is different from every other dental laboratory in the country, let alone our city. And what is missing is what Greg McKeown calls essential intent. A mission statement that carries essential intent is both inspirational and concrete, meaningful, and measurable. This is about making a decision that changes all other decisions after it. It's like deciding whether you're going to be a professional athlete or a doctor. It's defining a reason for being that is so clear, it eliminates all other options and maps a singular source of action. When we are writing a mission statement for our brand, we do so to get clarity on exactly the one thing that we are committed to do and transmit that into authentic brand behavior. So now let's look at the anatomy of a mission statement. And then we're going to give you an example, and then you'll be off to the races. Every effective mission statement that is designed to connect you to your audience should have 4 key elements, and they are in no particular order. The first is a present tense verb. The second is a commitment that your brand is going to make. The third, who are you making that commitment to? And the fourth, what is the benefit of that commitment? Now, to construct our mission, our essential intent, we're going to take all 4 of these key elements and develop each one of those in isolation. Then, what you'll do is you'll put them together in your mission statement. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. And then I will use Harvest's mission statement as an example and case study. Step 1, start with a verb. Now, the mission statement is not developed to just hang on a wall or sit in a drawer. It's actually meant to do something. It's meant to inspire action. And so it's really important that you have a verb in there, that it has an action word in there that is going to drive that action. Now, it's also important that this verb is present tense. Where your vision is about the future, your mission is all about the now, and it's all about the commitment now to drive that action now. Now, if you have a future tense verb in there, let's just say to become, that is more in line with the future, and that language needs to stay in the vision statement. So we need to keep that verb in the present tense, in the now. Step 2, define the commitment. So exactly what is your lab going to do? The verb will determine the action, whether it's to create or to build or to develop. But once you have that verb, you then need to define what that commitment is going to be. This is where your lab is actually going to do so. And it's going to be very important to be clear on this. Because if the mission is going to inspire action, then you need to know what action it's going to inspire. Step number 3, include who you exist for. Very important. Again, we're wanting to connect with our audience here. And so you need to know who they are, and they need to know that you exist for them. You need to get clear about who it is. You need to be as narrow as you possibly can be. As a lab, do you exist for the patient or the dentist? You cannot exist for both. There is no wrong answer here, but you need to know who you are creating the value for. Step number 4 is describe the benefit. So you're going to do something. You are taking some kind of action, and somebody is going to be benefiting from that action. But what is the benefit? What is the outcome that they are going to get from that? What is the transformation that they're going to have by you following up on that commitment and delivering whatever it is that your promise is to deliver? So really define what the benefit is and make sure that it's there within your statement. Now that I've taken you through the anatomy of a mission statement, I want to land this by sharing how I bring these 4 elements together to create Harvest Dental's essential intent, also known as our mission statement. And here it is. Harvest Dental exists to refresh dental labs and their technicians by creating value that is recognized to exceed the best-in-class products we make. We accomplish this by connecting value-based pricing to premium materials, deploying thought leadership that is inspiring, and creating customer experiences that are worthy to be shared. So after hearing that, you can see all 4 key elements are there. Now let me break them out for you and locate them. You can see the verb there, to refresh. This is the action. We know that to refresh, we have to cut across a current state of being. This requires intentionality, value proposition design, and outside-the-box thinking. We have to actually create an operating system to execute on our mission. And you can actually read more about that on our website under the strategy section. You'll find that in culture. You can see who it's for, clearly defined, dental labs and their technicians. It's very clear who we exist for. My father was a dental lab owner, and so I grew up in the lab. And I knew from an early age that I always wanted to live in this community and that my destiny was to serve dental technicians. You see that baked into our mission statement. You can see our commitment to create value that is recognized, keyword recognized, to exceed the best-in-class products we make. We know that if we're marketing a product, it has to be best in class, so that's already satisfied. So everything else is over and above. Anything else that makes us valuable is over and above. We want to be more valuable than what we do, which means that most of our internal conversations are driven by our mission. These are the what else can we do outside delivering a good product. And that's actually part of the vision statement that's linked to the mission. But ultimately, we will find the what will we do execution portion of that, which is our mission, present tense. And that's how we execute on the brand promise. And finally, you can see the ways in which we create the benefit. Now, keep in mind that this has nothing to do with the product quality. This is above and beyond. The product quality is already expected. These are the executables that are tied to our action word, to refresh, and to our commitment to create value that is greater than. And so there you have it. The Harvest mission is to exist to refresh dental labs and their technicians by creating value that is recognized to exceed the best-in-class products we make. We accomplish this by connecting value-based pricing to premium materials, deploying thought leadership that is inspiring, and creating customer experiences that are worthy to be shared. A mission that is driven by essential intent will be crafted in a way that forces your company to ask and answer the following questions. The first is this: who do we want to be that makes us more meaningful to our customer other than what we do? And the second is, how will we know when we've executed on that intent? In landing this, it's important to note that your mission, again, is just one small element of your brand promise architecture. It needs to be aligned with your purpose, your vision, and your values. And to listen to earlier episodes where I cover some of those, you can go to the website harvestdental.com/podcast, and you can listen to those where I go more in depth. Well, my friends, that's all I have for you today. I hope this was helpful. See you next week on Entrepreneur Insight. Bye for now.